Welcome to Unlocking the Power of Your Personality Type. I'm Samantha Mackay, lead trainer at Truity, and today we are talking about INTPs and how they can create a fulfilling career. Now, unfortunately, ideas and logic aren't enough to create the perfect career, and INTPs must spend a lot of time being very jaded about this fact because they have the highest career dissatisfaction of all the intuitive types. So how do we fix this? How do we get INTPs loving work again? Well, it's trite of me to say that INTPs just need to get out of their heads and start turning their amazing ideas into reality. You know that already. The question is how? So we're going to talk about how INTPs can check whether some false assumptions have infiltrated their decision-making data and learn how to leverage the part of their personality that wants them to take action. Let's dive in. Firstly, you need to ignore what other people think and what they're saying. Even though INTPs are fiercely independent, they can still get trapped into worrying about what others think, wanting to fit in and please others. But to have a successful career in which you feel confident in who you are and what you are creating, you need to ask all those other voices to get out of your head and out of your data. So now we can check our assumptions and redefine success. Your family, friends, and society have a very particular view about what success looks like. And for the most part, that means earning a lot of money. And while there are INTPs who do earn a lot, that wasn't intentional. It was a byproduct of being fascinated with a single problem for so long that it helped other people solve their problems. So check your assumptions about success. Where did those assumptions come from? And throw out any that aren't serving you. And then develop your own definition and framework about what success looks like for you. Ignore other people's opinions and decide for yourself what your working life is going to be. Now let's get into some more details about your career. It is much easier for an INTP to know what they don't want than what they do want. So grab a pen and paper and make a list of all the things you don't want in your working life. Ask yourself, how closely do you want to work with people? Do you want to work one-on-one like a counselor? Or do you want to design from a distance like an architect or an engineer? Or something in between? How much socializing do you want in the workplace? A lot or a little? How much structure and process are you willing to accept at work? Do you want to work on a team or independently or a mix? And what companies or industries are you just not interested in working for? Examine all the elements of working life and write down what you don't want for each of them. And then make a maybe list looking at what's left over. What things might you want in your career? To shift things from your maybe list to your don't want list, look for low-cost ways to experience each item for yourself. If you're not sure how to do that, take a look at the book Working Identity by Hermione Ibarra for a suggested process. And finally, let's talk about productivity, motivation, and taking actions. INTPs get a bad rap about not being productive, but let's just ignore all the EJ definitions of productivity because IP productivity looks very different. And as far as I'm concerned, thinking something through in advance is being productive, but it is only one half of the success equation. So let's get back to basics. Where does motivation come from? Well, I hate to tell you this, but it has very little to do with logic and everything to do with feelings, even your feelings. So learning to take advantage of your feelings is going to be very useful in your career. So one way to do this is to start before you fully solve the problem in your head. When you feel that spark of energy inside of you that's from an idea that's come together, or when your curiosity is peaking, do something with it. Share the idea with a friend, brainstorm improvements with colleagues, create a sketch, do some research, run an experiment. Push yourself outside of your comfort zone in some way, taking risks, being okay with failing, and learning from whatever happens. Another way to leverage your feelings is to find what fascinates you and go all in. Become an expert in that one thing, sharing your research, your perspective, and your prototypes with real humans. Because your greatest career satisfaction comes not from inventing the perfect solution that no one ever sees, but from creating a new way of doing something that solves a human need, an underserved, unmet human need. And so we need you, now more than ever. Just remember that done is better than perfect. Just make stuff and see what happens, because we want to see that too.